Most important bits from the Renaissance period. What is the Renaissance? A cultural and intellectual revival of classical learning, art, and literature. When did the Renaissance begin? Around 1500. Which two ancient civilizations inspired the Renaissance? Ancient Greece and Rome. Who is considered the father of humanism? Petrarch. Which invention greatly contributed to the spread of Renaissance ideas? The printing press. Who invented the printing press? Johannes Gutenberg. What year did Gutenberg introduce the printing press? 1440. Which book is considered the first major work printed using movable type? The Gutenberg Bible. What is the term for Renaissance intellectuals who focused on human potential and achievements? Humanists. Who wrote Utopia? Sir Thomas More. What is the theme of Utopia? An ideal society based on reason and justice. Who is considered the father of English poetry? Geoffrey Chaucer. Who is the author of The Faerie Queene? Edmund Spenser. What genre is The Faerie Queene? Epic poem and allegory. Which queen is the Faerie Queene dedicated to? Queen Elizabeth I. Who is the most famous playwright of the English Renaissance? William Shakespeare. What is Shakespeare's first published collection of plays called? The First Folio. What year was the First Folio published? 1623. Which famous theater was associated with Shakespeare? The Globe Theatre. What was Shakespeare's first tragedy? Titus Andronicus. Which Shakespearean play is considered his greatest tragedy? Hamlet. What are the three unities in Renaissance drama? Unity of time, place, and action. What is the term for a Renaissance drama featuring a tragic hero's downfall? Tragedy. Who wrote Dr. Faustus? Christopher Marlowe. What is the theme of Dr. Faustus? The quest for knowledge and power. Who is the protagonist of Dr. Faustus? Dr. John Faustus. Which Renaissance author is known for his essays? Francis Bacon. What is the title of Francis Bacon's essay collection? Essays or Essays. Who is considered the first major English essayist? Francis Bacon. Who wrote The Prince? Niccolò Machiavelli. What is the theme of The Prince? Political power and ruling tactics. Who wrote Don Quixote? Miguel de Cervantes. What is Don Quixote about? A man who believes he is a knight and embarks on chivalric adventures. Which English poet wrote Paradise Lost? John Milton. What is Paradise Lost about? The biblical story of the fall of man. Who are the main characters in Paradise Lost? Satan, Adam, and Eve. What is the form of Paradise Lost? Epic poem in blank verse. Which queen is associated with the height of the English Renaissance? Queen Elizabeth I. What is the Elizabethan age? The period of Queen Elizabeth I's reign, marked by flourishing literature and drama. Who wrote The Duchess of Malfi? John Webster. What genre is The Duchess of Malfi? Jacobean tragedy. What is the theme of The Duchess of Malfi? Corruption and the abuse of power. Who wrote Volpone? Ben Jonson. What is the genre of Volpone? Comedy of humors. Who is considered the most important Renaissance lyric poet? John Donne. What literary movement is John Donne associated with? Metaphysical poetry. What are common features of metaphysical poetry? Intellectual wit, elaborate metaphors, and complex imagery. Who wrote The Sun Rising and Death, Be Not Proud? John Donne. What is a conceit in metaphysical poetry? An extended metaphor that makes a surprising or unusual comparison. What is an example of a Shakespearean sonnet? Sonnet 18. How many lines are in a Shakespearean sonnet? 14 lines. What is the rhyme scheme of a Shakespearean sonnet? A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. Who wrote Astrophel and Stella? Sir Philip Sidney. What is Astrophel and Stella? A sonnet sequence. Who is the author of The Defense of Poesy? Sir Philip Sidney. What is The Defense of Poesy about? A treatise arguing for the value of poetry. Who is the author of The School of Abuse? Stephen Gosson. What is The School of Abuse about? A criticism of contemporary theater and poetry. Who wrote Tamburlaine the Great?
Dear team,